last week we didn't do it last week. So last week was incredibly productive. Two things. I traveled to Dallas to a technology event, and before the event, I met with one of my advisors, and he suggested that I pivot my focus and that I need to go talk to companies in the financial industry space, specifically private equity and hedge funds. The rationale is that the information I have could be very valuable to players in the financial space that invest in healthcare companies. So basically his suggestion was, instead of trying to sell my data to healthcare companies, sell it to companies that invest in healthcare companies. And that makes sense. So I'm going to approach them as well. And this week I've been working on building the infrastructure software and the database. And next week is also a full week of deep coding, and I need to have by next Friday a mock-up of my system up and running, and I will. And then I will provide access to multiple people so they can start, including you, so you can start using the system and then give me feedback on usability, UI, UX. So I'm very excited. The last 2 weeks have been incredibly productive, and my ability to focus on one thing for days at a time has made a huge impact on my progress.
But this week is sort of a pretty cool extension of last week, and just really focusing on identifying specific customer segments. It was one thing to sort of have, I want customers, and I know I'm going to sell it to all these people, and it's going to be all these things to all these people, but being able to identify what it is to whom then allows you to more effectively build out a business strategy around that, and a value proposition for each one of those specific customer segments, and the MVP. So what's the minimum viable product for this customer? It might be different than the minimum viable product for another customer. And talking through that and having those conversations, and then more importantly, having it on paper as a document that can be referenced is very powerful. So it was really cool progress this week. This is going to be big. And now we have more evidence of that.
This week, the students did a really good job taking the inputs from last week and creating their value proposition canvas, and really, which really gives a succinct picture of, you know, what are the features and the gains and the benefits and the pains that are the potential customers or end users are experiencing. So it was so it was nice to see all that come together, kind of a synthesis of the things in the prior weeks. And then the other piece that was that we looked at this week was the mock-up.
Minimum valuable product.
The what?
MVP.
And all right. The other piece that we looked at was the MVP, which is we're starting to mock up, okay, what would we actually, how can we actually explain this to people and start getting their feedback? And, typically you do start with, what's in the patent, and I think we can evolve a little more there and communicate a little more there what we could do with that. So I'm looking forward in the next iterations of this, actually going forward and looking at ways that we can communicate what is this that we have, and what can it do for our customers.